All right, welcome everyone. I'm glad that you guys signed on. I'm excited to, get to talk and teach you guys again. I hope you had a great spring break. I see three of you already connected to Pear Deck. Thank you. The code is AVSUV. As you connect, I want to know what was the best part of your spring break. As you're connecting, I'll share my favorite part. I got to rest and read lots of books, and it was relaxing and enjoyable. And I needed that. And now I'm back and I feel refreshed. And so hopefully you guys are refreshed as well and are looking forward to some of the things we'll be doing. All right, I'm going to close the join code. And let's see, what were your favorite parts about spring break? So I have sleeping in and watching Netflix. I hear a lot of that. Oh, so someone says it's pretty bad. Feel like they're on the verge of depression. I will share that for a lot of people, it's been really, really rough, especially if you're used to being with people and being able to get out the house and you're an extrovert. So I am definitely, just be lifting you up and hoping that you get to have some fun interaction with family members and friends. We'll be using something else so that we can interact well. But definitely talk, make sure you get to talk to someone about how you're feeling. So, someone said you didn't have to worry about Zoom sessions and waking up early. That is true. I agree. But luckily, you only have to do those on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe. Someone said they didn't have any work and they hope to change that today. So, yes, we will be having some work coming up. Awesome. I'm glad you had a great spring break. Let's go over what we'll be talking about today. You'll be learning how to use Flipgrid. We'll be using that as another way for me to assess what you have learned because I'm used to being able to be in class and to talk with you and hear your ideas, but it's a lot harder to do that when we're away from one another. So I'll be using Flipgrid where you guys can upload videos about what you've learned. We'll also learn about energy today. We're moving on from speed, which we just reviewed when we learned how to use positivephysics.org. But now we'll be going back to energies, which is where we left off right before we left for social distancing. So we'll learn about energy and how energy is conserved. Then you'll take some notes. We won't be doing the ed puzzle today, but we will look at positivephysics.org. Awesome. So before we get started with energy, I do want you to be able to learn about Flipgrid. So if you do click this link, it should open up to a page that looks like this one. I'm going to restart this video. This video here is going to tell you what Flipgrid is, and I'll show you where that assignment is as well on Google Classroom. Here we go.
Join your class Flipgrid by entering the code from your teacher in the free iOS or Android app. Or enter the code at flipgrid.com on any web browser. You'll be asked to log in with your school email address or student ID from your teacher. Now that you're in, let's tap that green plus to record a video. In Flipgrid, you can pause your video to record multiple segments, add filters, turn on whiteboard mode, and more. Once you're done, you can review and edit your video, or record more. When you're ready to share, tap Next and take a selfie. This is the image that will appear on the grid. Click Submit to share your video to the grid, and that's it. Your video is on the grid.
All right, so that's Flipgrid. We'll be using that so that you can explain your thinking. So I might put up a video or a problem, and all you're going to do sometimes is just really walk me through how to solve that problem, or I might show you a situation and you'll tell me some of the physics concepts that are involved in that situation. So I'm looking forward to that. The assignment, this is a Google Classroom. You can see the assignment here under week 13 where it says sign up for Flipgrid and say hello right here. So where it says sign up for Flipgrid and say hello, you'll click on this assignment and it gives you the link right here for Flipgrid. Our Flipgrid code is Haynes 2805. And when you sign up, you should see your name here instead of my name, and it should say 1920, period 5 physics. And then what you can do is record a video where it says welcome to Flipgrid, and then you can share a fun fact about yourself. So that's your first quick little assignment to get you acclimated with using Flipgrid. Awesome. Okay, let's get back to Pear Deck and energy. Okay, so I know, like I said, when we go through these presentations, they go pretty quickly, but I record them and I'll be uploading them to YouTube where you can view the recordings. So first we're going to look at different forms of energy. So energy comes in many, many different forms, and there's a link here to CK12. And this presentation will also be placed in Google Classroom. But there's a link here to learn about forms of energy. But here are some of the forms. There's electrical energy, which you are used to, thermal energy, which we know as heat, electromagnetic energy, mechanical energy, sound energy, chemical energy, nuclear energy. We learned about the energy of movement, which is kinetic energy, and there's potential energy. So there's lots of different types of energy, and here are even more. So you can categorize energy into two different, or I'll say main categories. There's kinetic energy, which is the energy of movement, and then there's potential energy, which is stored energy. And then under kinetic energy, you have thermal energy, mechanical, electrical, and magnetic energy. But under potential energy, which is the stored energy, you have chemical energy and elastic energy, nuclear, and gravitational energy. And then there's also here in the middle that doesn't necessarily fit in those categories, but it's ways we experience energy. So we can experience energy through sound and through light. So there's all these different forms. And now that you know of these different forms, even though I went over them pretty quickly, I want you to try to think of an example. So here we go. So energy can change from one form to another form. And I want you to give me a real life example of energy getting converted into another form. So for example, a stretched rubber band has elastic energy. And then when you release that rubber band to like try to hit somebody across the classroom, it's released into mechanical energy or energy of motion. So it went from elastic energy to mechanical energy. So try to think of any example of energy going from one form to another form, from maybe stored energy to the energy of movement. What are some examples that you could think of? Let's see if you have any. We might just talk about some. So you can type it in Pear Deck if you're able to. And if not, we'll just talk about some. Okay, so then let's just think of some other examples. So here, I see someone writing and I'll keep talking. So what about when you're eating? We eat food, right, to get energy. So food has chemical energy stored inside of it. And then as it goes into your body, that chemical energy gets converted into thermal energy, helps keep your body warm, and it can get converted into energy that allows us to move, mechanical energy. That's an example of a conversion that you do all the time. So I see someone writing and saying when maybe some food or something is dropped, you have kinetic energy that then ends when the movement stops, and then it gets changed back into potential energy. Mm-hmm. Good, good. So we'll be actually learning about energy and how its forms can change and then how energy is conserved. So here are some other examples, and there's a link for a reading about energy conversion. So we talked about chemical energy, giving you energy to move. What about electrical energy? Turning on the lights or the lamp in your room. The light from the sun gets converted into chemical energy for plants to have energy to grow. If you have anything with batteries, like your cell phone, so your cell phones, the way you charge them is that you change chemical energy and electrical energy into light energy. Like that's how your screen on your cell phone is able to have light. For cars, we use chemical energy and we put gas inside of them, and that allows the cars to move. It also helps the cars have electrical energy as well. So these are all different ways that energy is converted. So this is just showing you lots of different ways we convert energy all the time. So you hear electrical, you see some electrical energy here, giving my computer power, giving me energy to turn on lights in my room. Chemical energy is made into kinetic energy. And the chemical energy, it gives electrical energy to the battery in my car. All of these are examples of different forms of energy and how energy is transferred or converted. All right, let's see, next one. So one of the things we talked about right before we left was specifically about kinetic and potential energy, which one of your classmates wrote about in their example. And roller coasters are a great way to really understand kinetic energy and potential energy and how things change. This is a point of view video from one of my favorite amusement parks in the entire world called Cedar Point. And this is one of their really, really cool roller coasters. I'll allow you guys to play the video because sometimes the videos get a little stuck here on Zoom, but it's a really great roller coaster. And I really can't wait until I can go to an amusement park again. But what I want to show you is how energy is converted between kinetic energy and potential energy on a roller coaster. So when you are on a roller coaster and you get to the very top of the first hill and it stops just for a second, your kinetic energy is 0, but you have 100, you have all the potential energy. So the total energy of this system is 100. But then as you start going down the hill, let's say that you're at the midpoint right before the bottom. Now you have half and half between the kinetic and the potential energy. But then as you get to the bottom of the hill, now you have a lot of kinetic energy. You're moving really fast, but very low potential energy. But then as you go up another hill, you gain some of that potential energy and your kinetic energy goes down some. So kinetic and potential energy are often inversely related. But the total is always 100. 75 plus 25 is 100. 100 plus 0 is 100. 50 plus 50 is 100. But that's only for this example. But what I want you to know is that the total energy does not change. And that's one of the things we'll be looking at a lot, that in a system, the total energy stays the same because energy cannot be lost. Energy can only be changed into different forms. And sometimes it's hard to figure out what form it got changed to, but energy can only be changed into different forms. So that is the main lesson for today about energy. And as I said, I'll put this presentation right into Google Classroom for you as soon as we're done. But here are your 2 assignments. You are going to complete the forms of energy quiz on Quizzes. That is already right here. Forms of energy in Quizzes. And you have, we'll be going on positivephysics.org. And this assignment, I will talk more about this on Thursday. But if you have not finished Unit 1 on positivephysics.org, you need to finish those assignments. But we will actually be working on Unit 13, energy identification. So if you want to move ahead, you can do this assignment, but we'll talk more about number 2 on Thursday. But just to give you an idea, I do want you guys to see what it looks like. So this is Unit 13, and you'll be looking at these questions here under Energy Identification 1. That's only this skill is what we'll be doing, and there's an instructional video for you there. All right, everyone, I think that is it for right now. Let me know if you have any questions.